The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Oh, what a big day this is. How big of a day is it, Mickey Spagnola?
Baseball's opening.
Tiger teed off this morning.
Oh.
And
he parred the first hole.
He did. He did it that. And we are now how many weeks away?
3.
3 weeks away from day one of the 2022 National Football League Draft. This is Mick Shots. Bill Jones
I thought you were going to say it's because Everson's on the line. Come on, man. You're taking too long, Bill. Let's get to it, all right?
Bill Jones. Whose voice is that?
Hey, if you're not here, you're third man
out of
right?
sight, out of mind.
Who is that? Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, inside the SWBC podcast studio, and on the SWBC phone line is Everson Walls. Hello, Everson.
You know you miss me. I miss you guys too. I'll say it. I'm man enough to say that.
You know, I had stuff for you, but now I got to keep it for another week.
Oh, cool. You can stew on that. You can rant when I get back.
No, you're going to stew on it because I'm not telling you what I had for you. But I have something for Bill, by the way. We have our Dallas Cowboys official 2022 draft guide.
You think there's more information inside the
Than
draft
the green
guide than the green notebook?
Well, we're about to find out.
No.
You don't have any pictures in your book.
No, there's no pictures in my big green notebook.
Hey, yes, but his handwriting is way better than what you're going to be reading in print.
I don't know about that.
Penmanship. You're your penmanship.
No, that's the problem. That's why the big green notebook cannot be published. I'm the only person who can read the handwriting inside it. So
some type of a William hieroglyphics.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. So it's the official 2022 Dallas Cowboys draft guide right here. And where can we find these draft guides outside of here inside the podcast studio?
I've got that information somewhere here in all my notes. So if you would like one, you can find the direct link for the digital issue. Boy, it's a long deal. You can go to 2022 Draft Guide EM.
It seems long. I mean, come on. What is happening here?
So you can get it on email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the web. And it comes up as bit.ly/2022 Draft Guide Web. I told you it was involved.
Okay. All right. So do that. All right. So Everson.
Or visit DallasCowboys.com/star.
Okay. Mickey's had his time. Everson, how are things going with you?
Everything is great, guys. I have been extremely busy, and I got sick also. I almost thought I had, as the young people say, the vid.
The vid.
The vid, yes, that's what they call it. You got the vid? No, I do not. But no, I actually took the test and everything. I was kind of nervous, so I had been down for the count for about a week strong. Oh, my goodness. So I feel much better now. I'm back on the road and taking care of business.
All right. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Mickey?
I'm good. Raring to go.
Raring to go?
21 days away from that
excited
draft.
about all these moves that are happening here behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, the visits started this week.
That's right.
They did the Dallas Day on Friday, and this week they started their 30 national visits.
Mm-hmm.
Guys been coming in daily. So
have you been able to eyeball any of them?
No, whatever they're doing, it's inside the Ford Center or...
It's in the other wing over there.
Yeah, but we're allowed on the other side.
Well, you
now.
need to go spy.
Just walk around and see who's here.
Just take a stroll.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I had.
But you haven't looked
got a
inside the big
list.
green notebook, and so you wouldn't know anybody if you saw them anyway, right?
I don't know. I didn't have the pictures. Yeah, I didn't walk around with the draft guide.
That's what you need. That's what the pictures are for in the draft guide. Mickey's walking around the star with this week with this draft guide, and he's trying to match up pictures.
There's
in the draft
Treylon
guide.
Burks,
Yeah.
wide receiver, Arkansas. There he is, right there.
Spags used to really be in the know. He's kind of gotten demoted, as far as the Cowboy pecking order is concerned. So he's just like us, sitting on the outside there, William. Trying to get in.
That's
trying
right.
to get in. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, what do you want to know? I've got 21 names here that are supposed to visit or have visited.
Oh, well, what you can tell, what I have been able to tell by those names in the past, because there have been years where the Cowboys don't draft off those visits,
Right.
and there are a number of years where they have drafted players who visited. I kind of look at, and I don't know, I haven't gone back and researched it to see if after the fact, if this is the way the draft played out for them, but you can kind of get a feel for positions that they might be looking at.
That's what I was going to say. Which position?
At what time during the draft? Because a lot of those wide receivers that they've had in here are first-round prospects, which tells you that they could draft a wide receiver in the first round.
Isn't that right?
So you're
Everson?
saying they don't necessarily lean towards a particular position or who comes to visit?
I'm saying you can kind of get a feel that what they're thinking pre-draft, and it all changes once the draft starts and your guy gets taken in the first round.
Right.
But when you've got a number of wide receivers that are projected as first or second round picks who are making visits, then you got a pretty good feel that if they like those guys, and some of the guys that come to visit, there are question marks about him. That's the reason they brought him in for visits. They need to find out more about him. It's not that necessarily that they like the guy. It might be that they've got he's a suspect as much as a prospect.
So I can.
So what you're trying to say, then, William, here on Mick Shots, is that the Cowboys are looking to draft a wide receiver. Are we going public with that right now? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they need to.
When they went public with that?
When they let Amari Cooper
When Amari Cooper went to Cleveland Browns.
I tried to tell you that 2 weeks ago, and you kept wanting an offensive guard.
You're doggone right, and I'm sticking to that.
All right, so here, this is an unofficial list, and it was projecting guys that either were going to visit or have visited. They've got 3 wide receivers coming in, and this is only 21 of the 30 they can bring in. 3 wide receivers, 3 defensive tackles, 2 guards, a center, and 3 tight ends, by the way. 1 offensive tackle.
So they're announcing they need a tight end?
I think they already said they needed a tight end. They also announced that they need a kicker, too.
Well, Blake Jarwin got hurt, and then Blake Jarwin got released. And so, it's pretty easy. There are no surprises on this list.
No.
When you look at positions, because all you have to do is just follow along with who's left the team and look at my shopping list. And there are vacancies
That's right.
on this shop. There are products that still need to be purchased.
And I did a little bit of a research here and went and looked in the NFL where the money is going per position.
Okay.
And I've always said in the NFL, if you need answers, you follow the money, right? And so they had, I saw a list, the average pay of the top 5 guys at certain positions. And obviously, the highest paid position is quarterback, right? Well, the next highest paid position, wide receiver. So in the pecking order of importance, the NFL teams think that the wide receiver position is worth spending the next amount of money on average salaries.
When did you do your research?
The other day.
The other day. So it wasn't yesterday after Stephon Diggs signed his contract.
Well, I think Diggs was already in there.
Stephon was already in there?
Yes.
Okay.
26 million. And this
Right.
was what their base.
I was just going to say, if it was done before Stephon Diggs
Yeah.
agreed to his contract extension, the money for wide receivers just went up.
Right, and this is what their average of their contracts
Right.
is, okay? And the top 5 receivers, Tyreek Hill, Hopkins, Diggs, Julio Jones, and my handwriting's so bad I can't read what the other one is. $28 million. Who would have that be? Oh,
Come on,
Hey.
Spag,
Hand me your legal pad.
You're
No,
killing
you can't.
me, man.
You can't read it.
Jeez, this is
28.
exciting.
He's making $28 million a year.
Who did you mention?
Who is it again?
Hill, Hopkins, Diggs, Julio Jones,
Devontae Adams?
and Adams.
There you go.
And
I can read your legal pad. I'm not even looking at
their
it.
average salaries together, the 5, $26.7 million.
And was that from most expensive to least, the way you read it
Yeah,
out?
most expensive.
So
5.
Devontae went from the record breaker, right?
Well, Hill topped him, and then Diggs is.
he's been topped a lot. That's my point.
Yeah.
He's been topped like 4 more times. I
Well,
believe.
whoever signs last usually tops, right?
Yeah.
And then if
So
you look
Stephon's
at-
not on that list.
No, Diggs, I said.
Oh, you did say
He
Diggs.
said Diggs was on
Oh,
the
you
list.
did say Diggs.
26
Okay.
million a year.
All right.
So that, to me, that is extremely revealing. I'm kind of surprised about that, and so disappointed. God, what are running backs going to be now, guys? Are they just going to be like field goal kickers? You know what I mean?
I didn't even bother with them.
Okay, but let's look at that. Okay, because I need to
And the next two offensive tackles, they average 21.4 million, the top 5, and defensive ends 21 million. Guards 16.2 million. And this
I can
is
tell
just
you right
the top
now.
5.
I'll tell you right now, the only thing cheaper than the running backs is going to be defensive backs. What did I tell you? How much you want to bet? It's going to be running backs at the bottom and defensive backs on top of running backs.
Cornerbacks are around 19.
Okay.
19 million, the top 5.
Top 5.
So that just gives you a little bit of idea of who's getting paid in this league.
Well, and it's interesting because on the Diggs contract, with the amount of money they're paying for the wide receiver, they've already dealt the money for Josh Allen, the quarterback,
right,
whose cap hit this year, I just called it up. He's at $39 million this year, $41 million next year, $51 million the following year are his cap hits on his contract that he signed.
Right. His
Devontae Adams is with a veteran quarterback who doesn't make that money with that car now. But Green Bay could not keep him because of the amount of money they're paying their quarterback. Tyreek Hill, Kansas City got rid of him because they've got two salary cap issues themselves, and he was towards the end of his deal. And so you're making on a lot of these teams, you're making choices. Okay, Buffalo's made a choice. They're going to go ahead. They're paying their quarterback and they're paying wide receiver top dollar.
Right.
But they're going to take away from some other position on the field. Okay. Kansas City's made a decision where they've got their quarterback. They're going to do whatever they can at wide receiver, and they're paying Chris Jones a ton of money, defensive tackle, and others on their team. And so you can't pay every position top dollar.
So the top 5 quarterbacks, their average on their contracts, Rodgers at $50 million, Watson $46, Mahomes $45, Allen $43, and Dak Prescott $40.
And the only one of those quarterbacks who has a wide receiver on that list is Josh Allen, Buffalo.
I was just going to say that. It seems like all of them had to sacrifice someone for that.
That's right.
That big contract.
Which then explains why the Cowboys made the decision they made on Amari Cooper.
There you
his
go.
$20 million.
That's exactly right.
And they got to be right on this. That the $20 million or the $16 million they gained on the cap was more important than having Amari Cooper back on the team. So they made a talent evaluation that his base salary exceeded what his production is projected to be in their eyes, right? They got to be right because now they got to replace him. And that's why I keep saying, in either first or second round, you got to have a wide receiver. Because right now, who are your top three? Assuming Gallup misses the first 2, 3, 4 games.
Let me. I'll throw this out at you too. And Everson, look at the wide receiver room and where CeeDee Lamb. Okay, with the players that were in that wide receiver room last year. Amari Cooper, obviously the veteran guy, he's the leader of that group. CeeDee Lamb in his second year last year. Michael Gallup in his fourth year, and just knowing the personalities involved there. Okay, all right. When you project forward this coming season and the next year, who is the leader of that? Who would have been the leader of that locker room or of that room, that wide receiver room?
One more time, Bill. I'm sorry.
You
One
mean
more time.
like today?
Like if they'd kept Amari Cooper.
Oh.
If they'd kept
okay.
Amari Cooper in that room, okay, he's as long as he's with the team, he's still the leader of that group.
Correct.
Okay. If they kept Cooper, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Michael Gallup. Okay, where are the projections as far as growth, as far as being a leader on the team for a guy like CeeDee Lamb or for a guy like Michael Gallup? And is that growth stunted if you have? I'm talking away from. Obviously, the number one thing is the production on the field. But there are some other intangibles that go into this, too, in the making of the culture of your football team. And I don't know that necessarily – you don't see very many teams that have two wide receivers that are the lead dogs, There's a lead dog in a wide receiver room.
Oh, do you mean in the room or on the field?
I got to disagree. Look at Tampa before Godwin got hurt. Right, and let's say look at Tampa while Antonio Brown was there as well.
And I'm talking as far as a leader, not production, but as this is the guy that's looked up to in the room as he sets the tone for the room.
Well, initially, before I heard whatever I've heard from this past season, I would have said that Amari Cooper would have been happy to be that silent leader. Mm-hmm. And CeeDee Lamb, because he's a lot more versatile, would be the guy that he would just really let him take that load, the verbal load. You know what I mean? And I don't, based on rumors, that's not how Coop wanted to play it. Mm-hmm. But before this past year, I would have said CD would be easily jumping out in front, being that guy.
See, and from a personality standpoint, with Cooper gone, I don't know that CD's got the personality to be the guy that everybody follows.
You think so?
Michael Gallup is kind of quiet, right? And so and I hadn't met the guy. I just listened to his interview. But James Washington might be the most veteran, personality-wise guy to kind of lead the room. If you look at it, Gallup hardly played, 2 years in a row? Mm-hmm. At least Washington has played all 4 years. So, to me, now, he's got to make his way. You're a newcomer, right? You kind of mind your business until things start cooking right now. But I just think CD's he's kind of quiet. I can't remember who said it. It might have been McCarthy. Said, we got the quietest wide receiver room I've ever been around. Meaning there's no guys that are just boisterous, me. You know what I'm saying?
Would you have thought that about CD, Bill?
Well, I think I understand where Mickey's coming from on that. He's not the Michael Irvin type, rah type guy.
Well, I believe that. I do believe that wholeheartedly. But I really thought that CD would be coming up this year.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is maybe now he can grow into that role, more so. Whereas before, he's always going to
he would follow
whatever, because Amari is the leader in the room because
Right.
he's got the skins on the wall, you know.
So now,
I think his productivity and responsibility is going to leap forward probably by another 20%.
I agree with you on that, and I think Mike McCarthy pointed out that with Amari gone, his opportunities are going to increase, and what they're hoping is the production increases along with it. And by the way, what he's done in his first 2 years, no other Cowboy wide receiver has done. If you look at the production, the amount of catches, he's got more catches in 2 years than any other Cowboy receiver has had in their first 2 years.
And that's after having being part of a squad that really, like you said, always did douse his potential of the target.
And then, and the other point that McCarthy made is now he's the flanker, which that's the position where normally the ball's going to the first look, and then the outside guy, and then the inside guy. And he played a lot inside.
Yeah, I also see a lot of him in back in the backfield again. I think that's going to be a steady diet of that in especially key situations. Yeah, I think they're going to really pick up the usage of him, of CeeDee Lamb.
And, if James Washington hasn't lost a step, he's got that potential also. They didn't use him in that way in Pittsburgh.
Even if he has, Bags, if he has lost a step, he's still fast.
Right.
And
there's no reason why he hadn't lost a step. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
And the thing in Pittsburgh, we saw Pittsburgh play the last couple of years, and the quarterback could not throw the ball deep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would imagine that probably went into the decision-making process that the Cowboys had when they're looking at James Washington, what he can do for this offense, the deep threat, because...
And he's home cooking, right? Home cooking,
Yeah,
right?
He's from West Texas. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots. More from Mickey's legal pad if he can read it when we come back.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, kpostcompany.com.
All right, very nicely done, Mickey Spagnola. The only news of this week, Keanu Neal?
Yeah, obviously, I don't think the Cowboys had much interest in bringing him back.
And
now,
Keanu Neal did not have interest in playing the same position he
right.
played last year, and so now he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer as a safety.
As a safety.
Well, what was it? That was his narrative? He wanted to play safety?
Well, no, I think they said you're a safety here.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that. Look, the Cowboys, the way that I think they looked at it is the spot, his role, and somebody mentioned it, either Steven or Jerry, that, they've got Jabril Cox to kind of fill that role as a nickel linebacker to go with Parsons.
Okay.
And you've got Van Der Esch. So I think, and then also the way they used J-Ron Curse started reducing the snaps that Neal got on the nickel. So they valued Curse, getting him back, I think, more so than keeping Neal as a true safety, since they tried to play him at linebacker.
Yeah, I kind of made reference to that a couple of weeks ago. So stop trying to steal my thunder, Spag. All right? I've already kind of touched on that. All right, but he actually said, Keanu, that he wanted to play which position?
Safety.
I can't see him being I can't see that. Can you guys see that?
As a strong safety?
Well, that's different now. That's different.
I mean, that's what I.
No, that's what
he
he's
would
saying.
Play.
Strong safety.
Okay. Well, yeah.
No, not yeah.
Okay.
Which
there you go.
Which is what he's been.
He's not taking your spot on the Giants.
Yeah, I'm still coming back, guys. I'm out here working out right now. Gotcha.
As a matter of fact, I also saw that Taco showed up again.
That's right.
The Saints. Is
Yep.
that what I saw?
Taco Charlton signed with the New Orleans Saints on Monday, a signing that should have happened on Tuesday.
What do you think about that, Spag?
I'm not going to even touch it.
It took like 3 seconds for it to register in Mickey's mind. But anyway.
Yeah, you got me though. I'm in the dark.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah,
Oh,
that signing
Lord.
should.
But I don't know that they eat a lot of tacos in New Orleans. Okay.
Crawfish tacos.
Yeah,
they do. Mm-hmm.
So Todd Bowles thinks a lot of Keanu Neal.
Yeah, and they probably had an opening, and the price.
And his deal was he was on a 1 year like $5 million deal,
it was
wasn't
a
he?
2-year deal that voided. So he's got some dead money this year because they gave him a little bit of a signing bonus. So there's I think maybe $1 million or so that had to go into the cap this year.
I want to say his money last year was more than what J-Ron's money was.
Last year.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
So, meaning that his price tag was going to, even though he didn't have the same stats here as J-Ron did, J-Ron obviously had a better season stats-wise. Keanu Neal's price tag was still where he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. So, it was.
So the market was not there for Keanu Neal.
Yeah, that was another one they lost that they weren't going to bring back. I keep reading the Cowboys lost Connor Williams and La'el Collins. They weren't bringing Connor Williams back, right? And it was their choice to get rid of La'el Collins.
I would say they weren't bringing La'el Collins back either.
Right, exactly, because they would have.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't trade him.
They're taking a bigger hit on La'el Collins as far as their money situation goes.
But it was their
much more. It's their choice.
Their choice.
Yeah.
That's why I said where I started with this with Amari, those are 2 more. They better be right. Like you better be able to replace them with somebody that could at least play as well. So they made the decision on La'el Collins that for what he was going to cost, they were better off with Terrence Steele starting at right tackle.
Okay, so by them getting rid of La'el Collins and Connor Williams, so what do the tea leaves say about that, people?
Somewhere in the first 2 rounds, they need an offensive lineman.
I think the
so I wasn't that far off. I'm just a round off then in regards to.
So salary cap guru, how are they sitting at the cap right now?
They're fine, and they don't get La'el Collins' base salary until June 1.
Right.
So, but they do have dead money for him this year and next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 5 this year, 8 next year. So,
reading the tea leaves, I expect a veteran interior offensive lineman to be signed in free agency
at some point.
And it might be before the draft. It might be after the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, at what point do you think that's going to happen?
I think like tight end, it might look at it and say, okay, let's see what we get and then what we can do after the draft. But I think to not cause yourself to reach at the guard position, you bring in a veteran beforehand. Somebody on a 1-year deal, no more than 2 years, that is capable of starting but doesn't have to start if you get somebody that beats them out. And you don't have to follow the money and say, well, we paid him all this. He's got to start.
See, I think that there are probably 2-3 veteran interior offensive linemen out there in free agency that Joe Philbin likes. And they may be at different price ranges right now. And it may be if one of those guys has an offer from another team before the draft and they say, okay, we like him this much, it's not going to cost us that much, we'll go ahead and make this signing before the draft, they would do it. But if they're good, okay, go sign with Green Bay or wherever, we'll wait. And there may be somebody at a higher price range that they see what they're doing at the draft, what they're able to get at the draft. If they're not able to fill that position in the draft, then they go get that guy after the draft.
So look at what they did at defensive end. They brought in Dante Fowler on a 1-year deal, not costing them much at all. So that doesn't preclude you from drafting a defensive end. So to me, when they get to 24, and if they're not moving around, wide receiver, defensive end, offensive lineman, I think those 3 positions at this point have to be their priority, depending on the talent.
What is their bigger need on the offensive line in the draft? Which I'm talking.
If I have my druthers are an offensive tackle who can play guard and eventually move to tackle in a year or 2, if I need it. And again, that's why I did the little thing on following the money. The difference between what guards get paid and what offensive tackles get paid is significantly different, $5 million different in the average. So that tells you where the value is. So to me, and I keep seeing the center thing. I don't know if the guy, is it
Linderbaum from Iowa.
Can he play guard or center?
Most of them can, most of them if you're not playing, you're not the same player, but you can fill in there.
And and they can live with
he's undersized. I would say he's a center. He's under 300 pounds.
Right. And so
that's very small.
And what I read about him
it's small for a center.
Was that he had trouble with big defensive tackles. Mm-hmm. Well, are you going to bring him in? You already got that.
300 pounds.
You got that at center already, right? So don't bring in another guy that's going to have the same thing. Everybody's talking about, well, he was the Remington Award winner. Well, so was Biotish, by the way. And he's only played 2 seasons, and he started full-time 1. So to me, I'm willing to give him some leeway as another year as the starter. But I got to find and if somebody's better than Connor McGovern, then I got to find somebody that can play guard. But I just don't want a guard. I want a tackle who can play guard because I need him, sort of the way La'el Collins did at the beginning of his career, the way Flozell Adams did at the beginning of his career, the way Solomon Page did at the beginning of his career. These guys went inside before they went outside.
And they were extremely inexperienced as well, if you look at it.
Right.
James.
You're exactly
and it
right.
showed at the end of the season big time. We're getting, I was fussing about it. And we know four-man rush giving us credit, pressure, consistent pressure, especially towards the late part of the season when we really needed them to come through and give us some time and give us that luxury of, using the clock in our advantage. We just never could do that.
And see, and the other thing that stuck out to me, and I'm probably going to write about it tomorrow in my column, is Stephen Jones, when he was talking about drafting offensive linemen, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last week or not, so stop me if I did. He pointed out that it's very difficult these days to project college offensive linemen into the NFL because of the way college offenses are run. And so to me, that would give you pause because they're not running the football in college. They're basically throwing almost every down. And when I start reading about some of this stuff, these guys are good pass blockers, but they're weak against in run blocking. So when he said that, to me, that almost seems to give them pause on taking a first-round offensive lineman and maybe waiting to the second round. So if it doesn't work out, your loss is not as big as failing. I mean, think about all the offensive tackles that have failed lately in the first round, right? Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of guys that they drafted and haven't done anything. And it's because the game is so different on the offensive line.
Hey, even a few experienced offensive linemen themselves tackles. I was disappointed with the signing when Kansas City picked up the guy. Was it Brown? And that's the left tackle. Remember after the Super Bowl when Tampa just really ran roughshot over their whole offensive line?
Yeah, because it was all backups, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he did much better. I think they signed. I just can't remember his name. Was it Williams that they signed or Brown? And they brought him in as a free agent signing the next year to help protect Mahomes' backside. And it didn't. I don't think it went much better.
Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown.
There you go.
Yeah. He's a Sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, speaking of the Sooner, I see that on this list I found online of people visiting here.
Yeah.
Perrion Winfrey.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I would love him on this team. That tells you a lot right there.
Talk to me about it. Who is this?
That was the guy we saw last week on his highlight film where he made that tackle. Was it last week here?
Yeah. It was on the
Everson
Blitz.
wasn't with us,
yeah,
right?
That was on the Blitz.
It was on the Blitz.
Yeah.
That's right.
Perrion Winfrey, defensive lineman from Oklahoma. He was a Senior Bowl MVP. He just ate everybody up at the Senior Bowl. I mean, in workouts, drills, one-on-ones in the game, everything. I think he had a couple of sacks in the game, and it's a testament to why I'm elated that there's a new coaching staff at Oklahoma because they didn't even use this guy like they.
Everson,
here's
they
this
showed
guy
him making a tackle,
first-round talent, and. Go ahead.
I was going to say they showed him making a tackle when we were taping, and he comes out of nowhere and just was like a Mack truck ran into this guy, and I'm going, that had to. And I asked Bill, I go, where did he play linebacker? And he goes, no, he's a defensive tackle.
I think I saw that, guys. I think I saw that.
And I think he had a really good pro day workout also, by the way.
Well,
he's one of those guys that, if he actually hits you, he could actually slice you in half if he just decides to hit you hard enough.
He's a decleater.
He is.
There you go.
He's 6'4", 290 pounds with 35-inch arms. Ran at 290 pounds, ran a 4.89 40 with a 168 10-yard split. Last year at Oklahoma, in 11 games, he had 11 tackles for loss and 5.5 sacks. 2020, in 9 games, only half a sack, which is To my point,
What?
To my point, okay, why aren't they using this guy? He was a JUCO transfer from Iowa Western Community College, his first 2 years of college, but he was anyway. So he's kind of a late bloomer type there, but only 21 years old. He doesn't turn 22 until August, and this guy. He will not only light up a running back or a quarterback, he will light up a room, too.
Really?
He's got that kind of a personality where he is really fun. I mean, and his enthusiasm.
How far has he climbed up in regards to
Daniel Jeremiah has him as his 45th ranked player in the draft, so that's middle of the second round.
Hold it right there. And Gil Brandt just came out with his top 100, and he had him 48th.
Okay, so middle of the second round is what they're saying, and so we'll see.
Gil's description of him was another big defensive lineman with good speed, mentioned the 4.89 40. Winfrey finished second among Sooners in tackles for losses, 11, and third in sacks with 5.5. So, anyway, when I saw his name come up on that list, I'm going, yeah, bring that guy on.
All right, so the Cowboys have drafted the last couple of years. Neville Gallimore out of Oklahoma 2 years ago in the third round. Last year in the third round, Osa Odigizua, and they are three technique types. Okay, so where does Winfrey fit in then?
Well, I bet he could play at that size. He'd be a nice one technique, and they kind of played both of them kind of the same. I mean,
I think he's got enough athleticism. He could actually play a strong side defensive end, kind of in a run situation, whatever, and slide inside as well. And I think there's probably from 5 technique to 0 technique. He could play all along the defensive line. Myself.
At that size and the way he ran, I'll give you the same answer I did when I was promoting Parsons and somebody asked me, where does he play? And I said, on the field. Just put him out there. Let's go.
You know, when we were at our best, though, we did look like a bunch of hybrids out there. You know, when we were at our best, that worked for us. So in certain situations, it's good for you. Now, once they start running the ball, you know, obviously we start getting isolated, and that's where your words ring true, Spagnola. You know, yeah, but if you got a 300-pound guy out there, you know.
All right.
And eventually you were right. In the end, you were right, because all of those guys that we had on that line, they never could stand up to the pounding that the eventual, teams late in the season, they were exhibiting on it.
So we've mentioned the importance of a wide receiver. We've mentioned the importance of an offensive lineman. And by the way, for sure, bringing in, they brought in Treylon Burke of Arkansas, the wide receiver, and also Chris, is it Olave?
Olave.
He came in also for a visit. And with offensive guards, Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson, Boston College, I believe it is. And they did bring in Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle from Georgia, who basically disrupted that game, right? Oh, he ran 4.82, 6'6", 341.
I got him down with a 4.78 at the combine. Jordan Davis. Okay.
4.78 was his best.
Yeah. All right, get this, Everson. This guy, Jordan Davis, number 99 for Georgia, first-team All-American. And, by the way, Daniel Jeremiah has him as the number 1 defensive tackle and number 17 overall.
Yeah, he was tough.
Yeah, all right. 6'6", 341 pounds, and ran a 4.78 40. 341 pounds and ran a 4.78 with a 32 vertical and a 10.3 broad jump.
I saw him. I sure did.
Somebody wrote about him, at 341, but you know what? He's played at 360.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You look at that Georgia defense, and Kirby Smart's defense was so good.
Hey, that was lunch, Spags.
All right, they not only have Jordan Davis as an interior guy, but Devontae Wyatt
is
another guy who I love.
And that guy's on this Gilbrandt list, too.
Right. And Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis is number 99, Devontae Wyatt number 95. And Jeremiah's got him listed as the number 2 defensive tackle, number 29 overall. He ran a 4.77 at 304 pounds, and he had 27 quarterback hits, 39 tackles, 7 tackles for loss in 14 games at Georgia this year. All right. Then they've also got Trayvon Walker, who, number 44, who's probably going to be the second pick in the draft, as an edge. He's 6'5", 270 pounds, and they used him at Georgia all along the defensive line. He played on the edge. There were times where he played as a nose as well. All right. And then they got Nakobe Dean, linebacker, who if teams valued inside linebackers more, he would be up there in the top half of the first round. I mean, he may be the best player on the team. All right. But you look at the Georgia defense, and I go back to the Cowboys teams of the 90s. What was the strength of the Cowboys defenses in the 90s, Mickey?
The defensive linemen.
Exactly.
Position or ability?
Position. What position group was the best on that defense?
D-line.
D-line, exactly.
Because they could rotate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why is that?
All the time.
Why was that Georgia defense so good? It's what they had up front on that defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Does that translate anymore with the NFL?
I believe it does.
I believe it does too.
Especially when you can get big guys to move like that, and they don't have to be just 2 down linemen. Mm-hmm. They don't have to come out on nickel.
Mm-hmm.
You leave them on the field, and you don't get pushed around. And we can go back and remember that this defense was not solidified last year. I mean, they got room to grow.
So you'd be fine with drafting number 99 Jordan Davis at
Yes.
number 24 overall?
I would not argue.
Or number 95 Devontae Wyatt?
No
or
problem.
number 8 Perrion Winfrey?
Yes, number 8. Everson, he wore 8. That's why I thought he was a linebacker.
I just saw it. He looks, it makes him look small. It's really weird.
Just bring me a player, and don't get carried away with this position stuff.
You're talking my language.
Right.
There's enough needs on this team. Get the best player there that you can use.
Exactly.
All right, we continue with more mix shots in a moment.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Back to mixed shots.
Whether you're watching from home or cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you'll see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and find the perfect SLR lens for you. See more, do more, SLR.
All right, we got 10 minutes left. You want to see if the phone lines work outside of Everson's line? See if we can have two phone calls at once.
Oh, Jasmine,
because Everson's on the phone.
We're going to test her.
And we have Jasmine sitting in for Chris Beam this week. And what's that phone number again, Mickey?
888-855-2297.
For those of us who are slow, say it again.
888-855-2297.
So 855 still works with Troy Aikman and Leroy Jordan. We'll go Leroy Jordan.
Okay.
No,
We'll go
Danny
Legacy.
Spradlin. Danny
Spradlin. So 2297. What do you want to go with? You want to? I mean, there's a couple of different 22s. You go Bob Hayes or Emmett.
Yeah, Emmett. Bob Hayes.
Okay, and then are you going with 97?
Come on, Jones, right? Jones.
Jimmy Jones.
Jimmy Jones.
Jimmy Jones or Leroy Glover,
Or
Jason Hatcher.
Jason Hatcher.
There you go. Yeah, Grambling. Jason Hatcher.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So Everson's going with Jason Hatcher.
There you go.
So, by the way, I looked at some of the top signings the Cowboys had. DeMarcus Lawrence being not in this group, okay? That was one they had to get done, right? Jerry Jones said that was a priority, bringing back DeMarcus Lawrence. And they did so and save money against the cap. They saved $13 million against the cap the way they structured his contract. And the reason he did it, everybody says he took a pay cut, basically they guaranteed him $30 million more than he had guaranteed on his original previous contract. And the thing was worth $30 million. So they basically he was out of guarantees on his other contract. So that's what enticed him to sign the deal that he did. But I looked at, they ended up bringing back 8 guys, and in no particular order. Dalton Schultz counts in there, okay? And his cap hit for the franchise tag, which still can be adjusted, was $10.9 million. Then they also brought back Leighton Vander Esch, Dorrance Armstrong. They signed James Washington to the veteran exception deal, brought back J-Ron Kearse. They signed Dante Fowler, Brian Anger, and brought back Carlos Watkins on the veteran exception. So if you add up those 8 cap hits, they ended up with 8 guys for a total of $26.3 million. So that's, people said, what did they do in free agency? Well, that's what they did in free agency. Now,
did you include Watkins on that?
Carlos Watkins.
And Noah Brown.
I didn't include Noah Brown. And so 9 guys, and you just add another $1 million to it, right?
What about J-Ron?
Yeah, I did say J-Ron.
Okay.
So here we're
Jake McQuaid. You have to have a long snapper.
I know I didn't include. I took the 8 guys that I thought were important that they brought back.
You don't think LP was important for 17 years here or whatever?
Okay, I didn't throw that one in there, Jake McQuaid. And if I had put him in there, everybody goes, "Well,
that makes
deal.
It would make it a nice even 10.
10.
I mean, why you stop at 8?
Right. Okay.
So
and 10, and it would add another $2 million.
Okay.
Probably.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So the most expensive one, obviously,
Sprinkle?
the cap hit. No, he doesn't make my list. I'm sorry.
Why not?
Because
he's on the team.
Just another veteran.
I mean, you need a
guy.
third tight end, right?
He ain't going to be the third tight end.
He's
third
not.
tight end's in the draft. You don't think so?
I think there would be a third tight end. Yep.
Okay.
So
anyway,
it's between Sprinkle and McEwen for the third tight end.
The most expensive cap hit of all those guys they signed, other than Schultz, was J-Ron Kearse at $3.72 million, and then Armstrong at $3.38 million, and the rest of it they just kind of nibbled against the cap, bringing guys in necessary spots.
Where does Michael Gallup fit into this equation?
He was a necessity.
He doesn't fit your narrative. He and DeMarcus don't fit your narrative.
They don't fit the narrative. I wanted to show what they did with some of these guys and how they spent their money. Like basically 8 guys, and everybody's like, well, why didn't they sign Bobby Wagner? Well, he was 5 years, $50 million, with a 5-year, $5 million signing bonus and $20 million guaranteed.
Well, okay, so there it is. There it is right there. Do you want Bobby Wagner at 5 years, $50 million, or do you want Michael Gallup at 5 years, $57 million?
Right. And I want
we got
Michael
our
Gallup.
answer on that, and I agree with that answer.
Yeah.
Too.
So there's.
And Michael Gallup's what, 26? This guy's going to be 32 the end of June. And basically, if you look at his contract the way it's structured, they can turn it into a 3-year, $28.5 million deal and get out of it after 3 years with $2 million of dead money.
And you're right. Bobby Wagner's a Hall of Famer. And if Bobby Wagner were 26 or even 28, then, yeah, you would take Bobby Wagner.
But you wouldn't have been able to get him at 28 because Seattle would have kept him.
Yeah.
So he's averaging $9.5 million a year, plus he's got incentives that he can make and earn another $1 million a year each year in incentives. So just to show you, why didn't they sign Bobby Wagner? Well, they basically signed 8 guys. And it didn't cost him that much money.
All right, before we go, I want to ask Everson. Hey, Everson, what do you think? Tyrann Mathieu visited the Saints this past week.
Okay.
What do you think of Tyrann Mathieu as a Cowboy, if he fits salary-wise? If he came here on a, economical deal, 1 year, $7 million, something like that.
I would like that because he's that guy that can make those. He can decipher those plays that, in that key situation, you say, you know what, this is why we brought him here, for that moment right there. You see, I think he would be one of those veterans that could play solid all year long, and if he had to, he would know exactly what the opposition is going to run before they run it. It's a lot like Ty Law did, when he went to the Patriots. It's a lot like I did when I went to the Giants. Nothing can substitute someone who's still capable and yet has that experience. Hell, Von Miller for the Rams. When it was time, he stepped up and did what he was supposed to do and did what he was brought there for.
Okay.
That'd be great.
But Everson didn't get $7 million when he went to the Giants.
It was more like 70,000.
Everybody asks me that question. I go, yeah, just how much does he want? How much does it take to get him? And he's getting up in age now, isn't he?
And now, like Bill was saying, one of you guys just said there's a 1 year, so many millions offer. But look at Von Miller ended up getting 6 years, and Bobby Wagner
$120
getting all
million.
of that much.
5 years, $120. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not see that coming for guys who are still good, but dang, that is a lot of money. That is a lot. Good luck with that. You know what I mean? Good luck.
Okay, so then, as far as where Mathieu fits into this defense, you got at safety, you've got Curse and you got Malik Hooker and you've got Donovan Wilson. DeMonte Casey has not signed anywhere, and so that there's a vacancy there in your safety room. Keanu Neal is left. Obviously, he was a linebacker / safety here, and then as a slot corner,
have to be KZ.
Your slot corner is Jordan Lewis. So where?
How old is Matthew?
I got to look it up here. But you keep talking while I look it up.
Only because he how can I put it? A guy that has put it all on the line like that, a bit undersized sometimes, he has taken lots of hits, and you could kind of see where
He turns 30 in May.
He's an old 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been through a lot.
He's been through it, and to his credit. But that's when you really have to draw on more of your Was the word guile? Wow.
Yeah. No, I like that word.
Yeah,
Guile. Hey, do y'all play Wordle?
No.
I have not.
You know what I'm talking about, Wordle?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
That would be a great
good word to use.
They're 5-letter words. Guile would be a great one. Guile. This morning, what was the word? I can't remember what the word was. I got it on the first try.
Oh, well, he's bragging on himself.
In fact,
he
here's
jumped on that, didn't he?
No. Here's what I do. Here's what I do. I do it with my daughters and my wife, and so my youngest daughter Jordan. Because what you do is you figure it out, and then it says how many tries it took for you to get the word right. Okay, and so Jordan texts first, and it shows what her guesses were, basically, how many she got right in her first guess. And then my second oldest daughter, Jessica, she did hers. Well, we went on a family trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and they revealed what their first word is that they use every time. I can't say what her first word is, but Jordan's first word is ghost, and so I can go off of what, by studying what happened on their guesses. There's a couple of times now I've been able to get it on the first guess.
Based on what they missed.
Just based on what they missed, whatever.
Right. Got
So,
this is like talking about fantasy football.
It's actually pretty fun. It's a great family thing to do.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think Tiger's doing right now? Is he still even par?
Oh, yeah. Let me see what the heck is going on.
Tiger, that would be another 5-letter word. That would be great. It would be very timely for tomorrow. Let me suggest that to the New York Times for your next Wordle.
Now, going back to
Wait, what about Walls? Come on. What are we
Walls?
doing?
Yeah, that's
Jones.
I've noticed. I noticed they don't do plural like roads with an S on the end of it. Apparently, they don't do plurals. So Walls would not qualify then. And I haven't seen a proper name yet either. Yeah.
What about Jonas?
Jones? I have not
Jonas.
I was talking about the commercial. I got one that went right over your head.
All right, let's see. Oh, whoa. Wow. Tiger.
Hey, wait, before you go on, call some people at Grambling to get some information, and a lot of people down there listen to our podcast.
All right.
Black people are actually tuning into us, guys.
That's why we need you in studio.
See, that's right.
Everson, that's why we can't have you on the phone, but we got to be able to see you in studio.
So wherever you found that out, make sure they know 888-855-2297, okay?
So look, I brought all of where was that baklava? Remember, I was in Baklava, New Jersey, or up by Buffalo. That was by Rochester. I told you about that place.
Yeah.
And people in
that's right. They were listening up there.
That's right. So yeah, man, that's only because of me, guys. Let's get that straight.
I thought that was the dry fish you were talking about in the Italian restaurants, baklava.
Yeah.
And guess who?
Tiger?
Guess who is tied for third at the Masters right now?
Wow, let me look at this.
Seriously?
Through 7 holes, Tiger Woods is 1 under par, and he's tied for third at the Masters.
I mean, come on, guys. Do we dare speculate? I mean, come on.
I heard the guys on the radio when I was driving in. He hit his first shot, and he wasn't happy with it. And I think he kind of sliced it, and then it wasn't on the fairway. And they were all going, oh, God, look at this. Well, he ended up parring the hole, right? He was in trouble, and he parred it. And he was even par after 3, I think I saw.
Do we dare?
Yeah. No.
Huh? Come on.
Now it's a matter of...
This can't be real. This can't be
He birdied
real.
6. He birdied 6.
This is like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. It was set up. This is fake. Come on. This can't be real.
The accident was fake.
Yeah.
Which Gronkowski had a funny line last night on Jimmy Kimmel. Kimmel said something about, with your personality, you could host the Oscars. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, I want to see somebody come up and slap me.
That would be.
He goes, they ain't getting away with it.
He'll meet them halfway. Meet them halfway, buddy.
It was pretty funny.
All right, so that does it for the special 2-hour version.
One under. Now the question is, can he walk 18 holes 2 days in a row?
That's what I'm thinking.
All
Plus,
right.
he's done these practice rounds as well. Yeah, he's been really trying to get ready.
Yep. All right, so that's what you're doing for the next couple hours there, Everson.
Keep an eye on.
No, I don't watch golf, man.
Okay.
That's you guys. You can have that stuff. You guys had to do something. You had to do something I couldn't do.
Hey, if I was the PGA and he was playing in my tournament and I knew all the eyeballs were going to be on it, it's like if he makes the cut, I give him a golf cart. Just keep playing. Just keep playing.
All right, that does it for this edition of Mick Shots and more of our draft preview. And Everson is going to do his research over the course of the next week, and we'll get his take on some of these draft prospects next Thursday at 11:30 here on Mick Shots.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.